When it comes to game reviews, playthroughs, or let's plays on YouTube, a viewer gets interested in the game and wants to get their hands on it, and they can with websites like Steam, Epic Games, GOG, and etc. at their disposal. However, in rare circumstances, there are times where these games aren't as easy to get or you just flat out can't. These games most of the time are that way due to numerous controversies surrounding them, resulting in the games getting banned and removed from shelves. But the game I'm going to talk about in this video wasn't controversial in the slightest. In fact, it had nothing but very positive reviews and comments from consumers. So why is a game that is so good almost impossible to get today? What even is this game I'm talking about? My name is Gary the Prophet, and this is No One Lives Forever. No One Lives Forever was developed by Monolith Productions, published by Fox Interactive, and was released on November 9th in the year 2000 for Microsoft Windows. The game was later ported to the PlayStation 2 and Mac OS X in 2002. You play as Kate Archer, a female spy working for the secret organization Unity, whose job is to keep the world at peace and protect the world from severe threats. Kate is the only female working for Unity, but tends to get more mundane tasks and assignments due to the fact that the higher-ups don't really trust her with higher-level missions. That is until, within a single week, most of Unity's agents were killed by an unidentified assassin. It's discovered shortly after that Dmitry Volkov, a Russian assassin, and the terrorist organization group Harm were involved with the murders. With only Kate and her mentor Bruno Lari left, Unity sent them out to Morocco in hopes of stopping Volkov. It turned out to be a setup which resulted in Bruno getting killed, leaving Kate on her own. She managed to escape Morocco, and the real fun now begins.
We will meet again, Miss Archer.
No One Lives Forever wasn't the only spy-themed game to come out during the late 90s and early 2000s era. Games like Metal Gear Solid, GoldenEye 007, Splinter Cell, Perfect Dark, and many more were pretty popular during those times. But what separates No One Lives Forever from these other spy games was the fact that Monolith Productions went with a more comedic approach with its hilarious writing and wacky characters. And the game overall is just simply really fun to play, with having lots of different weapons and gadgets at your disposal, allowing you to complete tasks and missions in different ways. Now let's get more in depth about some of the aspects about the game that are worth talking about.
I love your outfit.
I do too. Can I talk you out of it?
No One Lives Forever offers the players two main ways of completing most missions. You can either go in with guns and shoot everyone in sight, or go with a more stealth approach. And while stealth is certainly an option, I found it to be more of a frustrating than a fun experience. And I have my fair share of experience in stealth games in the past, including games like the Splinter Cell series, the Thief games, and etc. However, the stealth in this game is very inconsistent and at times almost impossible. I will admit sometimes it's because of a mistake I made or I simply lost my patience. But how is it my fault when a camera literally spots me from the other side of a wall? That's another thing. The range that cameras and guards can spot you is never the same. Sometimes I can walk right past a guard or a camera and they will not spot me. Or other times I could be very far away and they somehow can spot me and alert everyone else in the proximity. With that being said, there are only a couple of missions where you are required to do it stealth. However, when I was given the opportunity, I always just went in guns blazing. Maybe in the future when I play through the game again, I'll actually try and complete them in stealth, but right now it's not my top priority. If you have the patience of a saint or only play games through the means of stealth, be my guest. In terms of the overall combat, it's not anything too revolutionary given the fact that this game came out 2 decades ago. The enemy AI though has this weird thing where they all line up like they're waiting outside of a bar and run directly towards you. This doesn't happen all the time, but it's pretty often and it's more amusing than anything else.
Did you enjoy that?
Not really.
The level design has to be one of my favorite things about No One Lives Forever. There are a total of 15 missions in the game, and a lot of these missions take you to different locations and have different styles to them that separate the levels from one another. At one point, you're in a hotel in Morocco, then you're in a bar featuring a very talented singer. Then you're in a plane, falling out of the plane, snowmobiling down a mountain to literally freaking space. With the exception of revisiting a couple of locations throughout the game, it never feels like you are always in one place. The game offers a wide variety of different weapons, from pistols to SMGs to sniper rifles to grenade launchers, etc. And even some more of the interesting weapons, including a crossbow, a laser pistol, a revolver that shoots explosives, and even a rocket launcher disguised as a briefcase. And I haven't even told you about the gadgets yet. Alright, here we go. A barrette, used to pick locks and switches to a dagger with a poison effect. Spyglasses, used as a camera and an infrared and mine detector. Body remover, a liquid used to disintegrate dead bodies. Belt buckle, used as a zip cord to get to high locations. Code breaker, used on keypads to open doors and safes. Lipstick explosives, each color does a different effect. Camera disabler to disable cameras. Cigarette lighter, a welder used to open locks that you can't lockpick. A robotic poodle, used to seduce and distract guard dogs. Oh boy. That probably wasn't all of them due to the fact that I said all of that in one breath, but you get the idea. Having a wide variety of weapons and gadgets, despite how interesting they are, make it fun to tackle certain situations in different ways. And the game doesn't give you everything on the first mission. You'll do these advanced field tactic training levels throughout the story that will introduce you to each of the gadgets. I love the way that they did this because it prevents players from being overwhelmed having to cycle through all of their equipment at the very beginning, but it also keeps the gameplay fresh throughout the playthrough, introducing new gadgets and weapons over time. The only major downside to this is that if you are introduced to a gadget or a weapon later in the game, you can't go back to previous missions and use it on those said missions. Listen, I just want to kill the assassins in Morocco with a briefcase rocket launcher. Is that too much to ask? Now listen, it wouldn't be a proper review of No One Lives Forever if I didn't talk about the dialogue. If I had to summarize the dialogue in this game with one single word, it would be brilliant. The dialogue is what makes No One Lives Forever a hilarious experience. The writing in this game is phenomenal, and even though I've played through the game a couple of times, I never even have the thought of skipping the cutscenes due to how great the conversations between Kate and the other characters in the cast, or even the NPC conversations are. It's fun to listen to, and quite frankly, it never gets old. Now, for those who haven't played the game are probably thinking NPC conversations in a video game are actually interesting. I know exactly how you feel. In many games in this day and age, the NPC dialogue is boring, repetitive, and feel really uninspired. But that isn't the case with No One Lives Forever. In fact, some of the NPC dialogue has some of my favorite lines in the entire game.
Stay alert. There's been some trouble upstairs.
What kind of trouble?
Spy trouble.
One example is during a mission, you can overhear two guards having a conversation about alcoholism and how it links to criminals.
What's in all those kegs anyway?
Beer. We supply Harm's entire staff with the finest Deutsch brews.
Really? That must be a lot of beer.
Indeed. Our studies show that criminals drink 3 times as much alcohol as law-abiding citizens.
So beer turns people into criminals?
The correlation doesn't imply causality. Just because criminals drink a lot of beer doesn't mean that beer causes crime. It's possible that people with criminal tendencies enjoy beer because it helps to soothe their conscience. Or perhaps criminal behavior is caused in part by a genetic predisposition that also, coincidentally, makes criminals like the taste of beer more than the average person. Who knows?
But my personal favorite has to be in the very beginning of the game, where you can listen to a civilian try and convince a guard to buy his monkey.
You look like you need a monkey. Excuse me. I have a very fine monkey for you. Only $20 American. Sorry, I don't want a monkey. What do you mean? I don't want a monkey. Why not? Because I don't like monkeys. Now get that filthy beast away from me. Are you insulting my monkey? I'm sure it's a perfectly excellent monkey, but I don't want it. Now please leave. I'm very busy. $10. No, I wouldn't want the dreadful thing even if it were free. Free? You want my children to starve? If they're hungry, I suggest you feed them the monkey. This is a valuable monkey. My wife would kill me if she knew I was offering it to you so cheap. You don't seem to understand. I don't want a monkey. Infidel.
There are moments in the game, especially in the stealth-only missions, where you have to sit and listen to the NPCs talk to each other before they will actually move. Making this dialogue actually enjoyable to listen to makes the overall experience that much more fun.
Excuse me, Baroness.
I said no interruptions! Somebody shoot this man! Where were we?
If I have to say one bad thing about the dialogue, it would actually not be just a conversation, but an entire mission. That mission specifically is Scene 3 of the mission A Man of Influence. Kate is given the task to talk to Baron Archibald Dumas, and she chooses to disguise her identity as a reporter for the Men of Influence magazine. The dialogue takes a total of 15 minutes, and the goal is to get Dumas to slip up about some classified information. You ask him a total of 8 questions, and while the questions you choose don't really matter, having to sit there and wait for him to slip up on something gets kind of irritating. So yeah, definitely going to be skipping that in future playthroughs. Besides that specific mission, the writing in No One Lives Forever is absolutely fantastic, and while I can't sit here and show you all of my favorite lines in the game, if you ever get this game, just take the time to listen to what the characters and the NPCs say. I think you'll feel the exact same way as I do.
Wait a minute! You're sitting here and saying, if I ever get this game and all that, but didn't you say you can't buy this game? How can I play the game if I can't buy it?
You make an excellent point. I apologize, I kind of got carried away there, I guess. So now that I've been doing nothing but talking about how great this game is for the last 12 minutes, let's talk about exactly why this game is impossible to buy. I mean, if you really want to buy No One Lives Forever, I'm sure you could find a cheap price on eBay or something. So why is No One Lives Forever so hard to find? Why can't you just go to your GameStop? Why can't you just see it on the front page of the Steam website? Well, it's actually because of one reason. Licensing. But it's not just your standard licensing issue, it's more of a licensing limbo. I'm going to do my best to explain. So, No One Lives Forever and No One Lives Forever 2 were developed by Monolith Productions between the years 2000 and 2002. The publisher at the time was Fox Interactive, which was sold to Vivendi Universal Games in 2003. On July 10th, 2008, Vivendi merged with Activision. Monolith Productions was bought out by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment in 2004. Sierra Entertainment, who was responsible for the PlayStation ports, did shut down in 2008 but was later revived in 2014 by Activision. So at this point, either Activision or Warner Bros. Had the intellectual property rights to the games. But what makes this frustrating is that neither of them know who truly owns the IP rights. In fact, when they were asked who owns the rights to No One Lives Forever, they both basically said, "We don't know." In 2013, Dan Amrich, the community manager at Activision, made a video attempting to explain the whole situation.
Some years ago, Vivendi Universal merged with Activision to create Activision Blizzard as we know it now. So the thing is that when that giant merger happened, some of those IPs remained here, some of them didn't. Now, Vivendi bought Fox Interactive, I think, in 2004, so a couple of years before the Activision-Vivendi merger went through. Since then, anything that we've had that has been able to be reissued through, like, Good Old Games or something like that, those are all available for purchase again at GOG.com, Good Old Games. Knowing that No One Lives Forever, which was this really funny spy spoof first-person shooter series, is so popular, I said, how come that hasn't come out? And here, the person that I normally talk to about this stuff does not believe that we currently have the rights. They've never seen it. They've never been given the permission to put that stuff on Good Old Games. They said basically, if we had it, I would love to have been able to reissue those games. So, that leaves the question, if Activision no longer has the rights to No One Lives Forever, who does? Monolith was the developer that handled those games, and they are now part of WB. So I wondered if maybe, at the time when Activision was saying, we'll keep these, we'll leave these, we'll sell these, whatever, maybe Monolith stepped up and took their IP back. So I contacted a friend at Monolith, and he doesn't know.
With all of this uncertainty to who actually owns the titles, there was an attempt by a publisher to get the rights to the No One Lives Forever titles. In 2014, Night Dive Studios, commonly known for System Shock 2, filed trademarks for the No One Lives Forever series. Warner Brothers ended up filing a notice of opposition, which led to Night Dive attempting to seek a license agreement. However, Warner Brothers did tell Night Dive that if Activision had any involvement with the ownership of the titles, they would need their approval. So Night Dive right away got in contact with Activision, and they made an attempt to search the archives. When it was found out that the archives dated back before computerized records, Activision did not want to look any further. And because of all of this, Warner Brothers ended up refusing to partner with Night Dive or license the IP, leading to Night Dive giving up entirely. And since then, there have been no more attempts of bringing the series back to light, and quite frankly, we will never know if that day will come. So with no idea of whether the games will be re-released, remastered, or remade entirely, it does seem like there is absolutely no way to obtain these beloved games. Or is there? Throughout the entire video, I have specifically said that you can't buy No One Lives Forever, but I never said you could not play them. In the year of 2016, the website No One Lives Forever Revival was launched with the goal of allowing players to replay the games and new players to play them for the first time. The website includes No One Lives Forever 1 and 2, as well as Contract Jack. And the best part, it is absolutely free. That's right, you can play the games right now and not have to pay a single penny for them.
But Gary! This is piracy! This is against the law! You are promoting a website that lets you download paid games for free! This is illegal!
Calm down, Jimmy. I understand what you are saying. In any other situation, I would be against the idea of downloading paid games for free. However, in this certain scenario, I'm 100% okay with it, because you can't buy these games. They aren't readily available on Steam. You can't go to your local retail store and grab it from the shelves. It's not possible. And if any time in the future the games get out of the licensing limbo and are available to purchase, I will gladly buy them without any hesitation. But this website only has good intentions. They know that the game can't be bought, and they want people to experience No One Lives Forever. And this website is, quite frankly, the only way. And for anyone who's skeptical about viruses and malware, including myself, I can 100% assure you the games are safe and virus-free. Many people have downloaded the games off this website, including the individuals who speedrun the No One Lives Forever games. However, if you are still unsure, you can always create a system restore point before downloading. And for anybody who's wondering if this website's going to get shut down anytime soon, it's been up since 2016, and there hasn't been any sort of indication that it's going to shut down anytime soon. With that being said, if you are wanting to play these games, now is your chance. No One Lives Forever has become one of my all-time favorite games, and it's unfortunate to see the situation that the games are in. Maybe sometime in the future the stars will align and we can all see these glorious games on the shelves once again. But even with this uncertainty, there is still a community of players, still waiting for that day to come, and I am now one of those players. My name was Gary the Prophet, and this was No One Lives Forever.